Yo, it's Akeem the Dream, and this is episode 2 on Inside the Dream. We have professional dunker here, Jordan Southerland, man. How you doing?
And the crowd goes wild. I'm good, bro. Thanks for coming to Atlanta. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. It was kind of a travel to come here, man. It's cold, man. We have some technical difficulties and everything. But, I'm glad to be here, glad to have you on here, man. So when did you start playing basketball?
I've been playing ball since I was 2. My dad put the ball in my hands. They got me him and my mom got me a Fisher Price gold for Christmas, and I've been playing ever since. Just grew up watching Michael, because my mom from Chicago named me after Michael Jordan. So I just been around basketball my whole life.
Now, you say your mom named you after Michael Jordan. Does that feel good?
It feels good that I am a high flyer and I had some success in basketball, because she would have named me after Mike and I didn't do anything. It kind of would have been crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of a blessing to be named after Michael Jordan. So you played since you were 2, and you growing up, were there any, difficulties going? Were you struggling because were you ever small?
Oh, yeah, I was always undersized until about my junior year of high school. I went into my freshman year of high school, 5'6", freshman, about 96 pounds soaking wet. I could still always dunk because I had long arms, but I was just undersized. And it kind of hindered me in high school, where my first couple of years they didn't look at me as if I was going to grow and be tall enough to play at that level. So they just didn't even give me a chance.
Now, did you play varsity freshman year or no?
I didn't play basketball in high school at all.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
And you are an influencer now.
Yeah, so
That
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that just shows high school ball really doesn't mean anything.
As long as you keep to your P's and Q's and you stay putting in the hard work, no matter what anybody tells you, that shouldn't deter you. As long as you know you got the skill and you got the drive, then you can really achieve anything you want. And that's kind of part of my story with me and my partner Doc. He's right, with the nothing was handed. He was undersized, I was undersized, and we just didn't feel like we get the opportunities we deserved until it was later in life, because we went and chased those opportunities and got them ourselves.
Yeah. So his name's Dunkings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And are y'all boys growing up, or y'all just?
I met Dunkings around 2014. He came from New Jersey, and we just both had the same dream. We just wanted to go play basketball overseas, or just play basketball professionally, and it ended up where the dunking became something, the avenue for me, and through that, he found out about training and doing Instagram videos and showing his dribbling and handles, and it just took its own life from there. And then the nothing was handed movement just kept growing and growing and growing until the point we're at right now.
Now, do you train with him?
Yeah, that's my trainer. That's for basketball, for life. That's my big bro. That's the bro.
That's the bro. So how old were you when you got your first poster?
My first poster, I don't think I got my first poster till I was 17, 18, playing in this little church league, caught a fast break, cocked it back like LeBron, caught my first body. That was the first body I can remember in an actual game. I had caught couple bodies playing tips and tipping 21 back in the day, but in a real game, that was my first body, 17.
And growing up, what were the things that you focused on training wise?
I was a shooter. It was pure, my first original nickname around my neighborhood was Reggie. Everybody used to think the skinny, light-skinned kid that could shoot, so everybody used to compare me to Reggie Miller. Shooting is all my dad had me working on. I was shooting in the dark, into shoot free throws in the dark, and if it didn't go straight through the net, then it would roll down my heel and I had to go get it. So that's all I used to focus on, was shooting and dribbling and working with my left hand, because my dad was real old school.
Yeah. And now watching you, man, I was watching you last week at the Ballislife little get together, and it's like watching literally 2K. And that's wow, man. It's you're a VC, you got bounce, man. You're everything that a hooper needs, man. And I wish I had your talent, your skill, man.
It's crazy because I remember when I first started in the dunking game, I wasn't the highest jumper. I wasn't doing all this crazy stuff, but I just kept to it. When I did my first professional dunk contest, only crazy dunk I had was between the legs. That was the hardest dunk I could do. That was my end-all, be-all, and I just stuck to it and just studied the game the same way. I took the same approach I did to basketball my whole life, and studying LeBron and Kobe and Jordan and all these guys I studied growing up. I just took that aspect and switched it to dunking. So I was studying Vince Carter and all these guys, and that's kind of how I got my style, because it was like, it was a lot of dunks people felt like you couldn't do, or people just wasn't doing off 1 foot. And I was like, why? Like, I'd never seen a lot of people do 360 windmills off 1 foot. I've never seen people go under both. Or all I know for 1 foot, they was like, you can go from the free throw line, or maybe do a couple windmills or something like that. And I just wanted to push the envelope of what a 1 foot jumper could do. And that's why I feel like I'm kind of the voice for like 1 footers, because everybody kind of jumps off too.
Yeah, I'm personally a 1 foot jumper. So seeing you jump makes me feel like I can't jump. And it's, wow, man, it's just unbelievable. But yeah, so did you always have the ability to jump, or was it something that you vertimax all the time? Squats, legs.
Like, I used to like do calf raises with ankle weights, like while I watch TV and stuff like that. But my dad was a high flyer. He was a 5'10" high flyer back in the day. So it's kind of like half natural, half work, because I touched the rim for the first time in 6th grade, and I got my first dunk at 13. But I really didn't get bounced until my senior year of high school, when I really started taking track serious and high jump serious, and I like really started training for that. I ended up, when that track season started, I couldn't windmill or nothing. I just went through the season. I wasn't even playing basketball. I was just focused on track. And then we had a dunk contest in my high school. The first dunk I did, I threw it off the backboard and windmilled. I had never windmilled fully in my whole life. And
so you were lit.
that was lit. And after that, it's been dunk crazy since then.
And then what made you choose basketball over track?
Basketball was always my first love. Like, basketball was always it, and I just looked for an outlet to use my athleticism to try to get a scholarship, because I was denied playing basketball. So I knew I could use my athleticism to get free schooling. So that's why I tried to use track and use high jump, because I just knew that could help with my mom's situation and everything that we had going on at the time, just to take some stress off of her.
Free schooling, so you don't have to pay for, or she doesn't have to pay for it, and that's just bettering your life. But now I don't think you really need schooling, because you're popping, man.
It's crazy, because I've learned so much just from traveling the world and just speaking to different people, that like one of my actual college teachers, my history teacher, was like, the biggest teaching and lessons you'll get will just be from living. And I took that into consideration, because he was like, everybody is not going to be the college graduate. Everybody's not going to go through the 4 or 5 years of school and find and live their dreams out. Some people have other passions to where you can get that information you need from the internet, or you can just get it from life. And that stuck with me. And I told my mom before I started my dunk career, because she was a teacher, so everything was school. Mm-hmm. So I told her, I was like, if you give me a year to follow my dream, if it doesn't work, I'll go back to school. I'll graduate, I'll do everything. And I never looked back.
Never look back.
I went hard on Instagram and just going under people's pages, Googling and Facebooking any dunk contest I could drive to or get to, just to get some type of exposure. And then it all paid off in the end.
Now, were you working jobs in between, or was it just 100% basketball?
When I first started my dunk career, I had 2 jobs. I was working security, and I was working at Town Center Mall, fixing phone screens and putting screen protectors on phones. And I ended up getting a tryout with the Harlem Wizards from a dunk contest I did in New York for Sprite. And the Harlem Wizards literally gave me that tryout. They had a game in Georgia. Maybe 2 weeks later, a player's mom got sick and they needed a replacement. They called me while I was at work. They was like, hey, can you fly to New Jersey tomorrow? I quit both jobs.
On the spot?
On the spot. Just quit both jobs, went out there. And I knew I was only going out there for a couple weeks to replace him, but I knew if I got the opportunity for them to see me, that I was never going to go home. And after my first game, even when he came back after like 3 games, they were like, no, there's no way we're going to let you go. Like, we're going to let you finish out the season, because your dunks are too crazy, you're too good with the kids. Like, everything is just too perfect. And ever since then, I just really never looked back. I was like, dunking is about to be my job.
And so you said earlier you've been traveling the world, and it's crazy how basketball, a orange ball, can, let you travel the world. What places, like what countries have you been to, have you seen just from basketball?
Let me go in the memory banks, because it's been a while since I've been overseas. Let me start off with the basics. China, Tokyo, India, Germany, Latvia, Africa, Russia, Sweden, A couple other places I can't even remember. Just some Turkmenistan. It's just a lot. I've been to a lot of places. I'm almost at 27. I'm almost on my second passport, and I've never paid for an overseas flight.
And do you plan on playing overseas, like professionally?
At this point, if the opportunity presents itself, because even though I love dunking, I've always loved the game of basketball. That's why I went back to training with my guy Dunkings and just really honing in to where if that opportunity presented itself, even if I just played for a year, I would want to do that, because just knowing I had to take an alternative route because I didn't get the opportunity to play in high school, and it made me change my path of basketball. I would just like to have that shot to know, yeah, I could do it. Like I could have played overseas. Even if it's just for a year, I'll be fine with that.
Yeah. And so you really enjoy dunking. You keep mentioning that. And what is the hardest dunk you think that you could do?
I don't think I've done it yet. I think I keep pushing myself, because all the dunks right now that's in my repertoire, it's like second nature, because I do them so much, even like my under both legs and stuff like that. So I think my hardest dunk, I haven't made it yet.
And so you think you could beat Zion or Zach, what's his last name, Levine?
I would love to go against Zach. I feel like we got this like almost similar dunk style, so I feel like we can just go back and forth. Like I'd rather have a dunk contest with Zion, but I'd rather play dunk horse with Zach Levine, because our styles are so similar. I would kind of like want to push him and see like what some of my crazier dunks that he could try to do, like, and he probably could shock me.
Yeah, and you went to a Aaron Gordon dunk contest, right?
Yeah, that was my first major dunk contest, when Aaron Gordon Dunk Fest in 2016 at Venice Beach. Like that was right after the first contest they had, and he was at his peak, and they held his own contest, and it was some of the big heavy hitting dunk guys out there.
Was he dunking?
No, he dunked like we played a game, dunks only, and he came out there, threw down on windmill and a couple oops. But besides that, he was just a judge for the dunk contest. But that was like probably one of the craziest events I've ever been to, still to this day.
Yeah, and do you think he could be? He's been robbed. Let's be real. He's been robbed, and you think you could beat him in a dunk contest?
Yeah, this is my thing, and it can go either way. Like if the NBA guys practice dunks with the training facilities they have, with the height they have, and the athleticism they had, they could beat us. But it's vice versa, because we practice our dunks and we take time to work on our bodies and stuff. We beat them because we have so many dunks in our repertoire. So I feel like it can go vice versa, because if you have me versus Zach Levine, we can do all the same dunks, but he's 6'6", so it's a little easier.
Yeah. 6'6", and you're what? You're 6'4", right?
Yeah, 6'3", 6'4".
And
Depends on the shoes. If I got shoes on, I'm probably 6'4", but without shoes, 6'3".
New Balances?
New Balances.
Are you sponsored by New Balance?
Not sponsored by New Balance, but I really want to build something with them. Just from the little commercial shoot I had and talking with the guys behind the scene, it was a lot of community-based things they wanted to do in the future, and that's what I'm really heavy on. So that's why with any like shoe sponsorship I want to do, Puma, Nike, Adidas, New Balance, whoever it is, I just want to give back to my community and just become one of those community leaders that I've always inspired to be. So whoever I work with, like they have to have those values with them. That's why I recently just signed a partnership with a company called Elite Beast with Dennis Scott that used to play for the Orlando Magic. And we're going to be doing training programs online. We're going to be doing life lessons. We're going to be giving kids just the information that people don't want to give them about how this basketball world works, the ins and outs, how to deal with money, how to deal with fame, how to deal with success, how to eat right, how to take care of your body, all the things that people just skip over. It's all about training and stuff with them, but it's more that goes into being a great basketball player.
There is. It's a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, man. I don't think people really understand that, because when you train and bust your ass every day, it pays off on the court.
It shows. It shows who really puts in work and who grinds when you get put in these situations. Because my whole thing that I've always learned from a guy I used to play with on the Wizards named King Arthur is proper preparation prevents poor performance. So it's like
It's a tongue twister.
Kind of that old saying of if you always ready, you never have to get ready. So I'm always, even the whole 2020 with the pandemic, I knew it might not be no dunk contest going on that year, but I never stopped working. I never stopped training, never stopped working on my dunks, never stopped working on my game. And then you open up to 2021, it's February, and in December I had 86,000 followers. Now I'm at 116 just from resetting my page and really like honing in on my basketball skills and just grinding hard and grinding it out, and it's all paying off right now.
Yeah. How long does it take you to like perfect a dunk?
Me personally, it depends on the difficulty of the dunk, but most dunks, once I make it the first time, it's pretty much like it's there, it's stuck.
So it's like muscle memory after one time?
Muscle memory after that. Because for me, that first time, I might miss the dunk 30, 40 times before I get to that one make. And once I make it, I know exactly what I have to do to make it from that point on.
Yeah.
So it just becomes a layup to me because I'm the type of guy in dunk sessions, if I miss a dunk, I'll look at the video and see where I jumped from and how I did this, how I did this. So when I get into a dunk show or I get into a dunk contest, I know my spots. I know where I can jump from and where I can't jump from, because you never want to get in those situations and be rattled to where, like, I might be in an environment like the gym we in right now, and it's a little half-court setting, and you might not get a full run-up. So you got to know where your spots are. You got to know where you can jump from. You got to know where you can get to, just so even if you don't win the contest, you can put on the show so people remember your name at the end of the day.
And you get invited to more contests, more things.
That's the thing. Like, you're not gonna win every dunk contest you go to, but if you put on a show and people remember the dunks you did, you're gonna get booked for more things. And you just gotta just remain humble and not get too in your feelings about things, because you don't win everything. It just happens. No NBA team has ever had a perfect season. It just won't happen. You're gonna lose some games, but that's what builds character.
Yeah. And how many trophies have you won?
I've been professionally dunking for 7 years now. I may have like 30 trophies, I think I got like 10 of the giant checks, like from the FIBA contest. I got like 10 of those. So yeah, it's been a lot of contests, a lot of wins, a lot of losses too. So it's been a lot of lessons. Like, it's a lot of contests I felt like I should have won that I didn't. A lot of contests I felt like I didn't do my best and I won. So it's just how the game goes. Sometimes it's your day, sometimes it's not. And you just gotta, whoever wins, you just gotta like congratulate them and just keep it pushing and just know you gotta be better the next time.
Yeah. So how do you get into the mindset of, okay, I'm gonna go out there and do my best at dunking? And it's different from getting ready for a game and then getting ready for just a dunk contest. How are the mindsets like the same?
I feel like it's the same. I feel like you go into it with, I feel like because I did track, I had that certain mindset, like coming in the high jump and knowing like it's just me versus these other guys out here jumping over this bar, and whoever gets to the highest level, like, they're gonna win. So I kind of had that mentality going in the dunk contest, like, all right, this guy may have a bigger name than you right now, and he might have more of the crowd on his side. But maybe if I do a couple crazy little one-handers and warm-ups, I can get the crowd on my side. And now going into the contest, I got a little more confidence because I got them rocking with me. You always want to get the crowd on your side. You want to get that energy from them because it kind of calms you down knowing that you got these people behind you. So when you do a dunk, it may be easy to you and it may look light, but they go so crazy that now you got the crowd interaction. It kind of helps. Like, you really have to like learn the art of being a showman and an entertainer when it comes to the dunk contest aspect. And I think that's what differs from like actually just going out and playing ball. Like, you have to remember you're still a showman at the end of the day when you go out there and do these contests. So after you make a dunk, it may be easy, but don't make it look like it was easy. Like make some noise, get loud, go to the crowd. Like, you really got to remember that showman aspect of it.
Yeah. And how did you get was there an audition for Dunkings or?
Dunkings was really just they put a little post up and it was like email in a video of yourself dunking and just explaining your story and everything, and that's how the first season of Dunking came to be. All the main dunk guys just sent in their videos, sent in their stuff, and they came up with that concept in that show, and it took off. It helped a lot of people's careers that took advantage of it. I don't think a lot of people who were on the show took as much advantage of it as they could, just because that show still gets played in Applebee's and different restaurants to this day on NBA TV. So people still gonna see your face and still know. So especially if you're from a small city, I think like you should have used Dunk King to your advantage, like just to create things around your hometown. And me being from Marietta, Georgia, it's kind of like a everybody knows everybody type thing. So it's like I'm always getting recognized from Dunk King still to this day.
And that's a big thing to put on your dunk resume or just your basketball resume, you being on Dunkings. How was it going in and, Shaq, Charles Barkley, Nate Robinson, Dr. J, like just hearing their feedback from you? Because they seemed like they were going pretty crazy.
My first Dunk King experience and second Dunk King experience were two totally different experiences. My first year, I didn't feel like I had the bag of dunks I needed to win, and I still got farther than I thought I was by just doing my stuff. But going into Dunk King season 2, I was more prepared. I had more of a deeper dunk bag, and Dunk King season 2 had actually more celebrities. Like they had brought Dr. J and Nate Robinson in for the first day of filming. And so just having Dr. J there and that being one of my inspirations on the dunk side, that kind of like was nerve-wracking. Like Shaq was so cool people that it just felt like you knew Shaq your whole life. But as far as like Dr. J, it was just like, I was just in awe. It was like if I ever saw Michael Jordan or LeBron in person, like it was just an awe moment. So the fact that I went out there and did my dunks, it was kind of like, I belong. Like after the second dunking, I was like, yeah, you're not going nowhere. Like I got second place in that dunking. So
yeah,
for that one, it was just like, nah, you got like everybody's like a couple years older than you. You got a long way to go before you even get to your prime. And I still feel like I'm not in my prime. I feel like I'm getting there.
Yeah. Excuse me. So did Shaq follow you on IG after Dunkings or like right after, during, or was it a little bit?
Right after the first season, Shaq followed me, and he just always stayed in touch. He like I felt like I show him like old clips and videos and stuff, and he'll comment on it, and he'll always respond. He invited me to his Papa John's event when he opened the Papa John's in Atlanta, and I had my daughter out there. She was only like maybe 5 months, so it was kind of crazy having her out there, and she's already like next to Shaq at 5 months old. So Shaq is just a real down-to-earth, humble guy, and he just told me to just keep working and keep grinding. Like he's probably one of the like most vocal guys I've had like after a dunk contest that's a celebrity or NBA player that continue to talk to me and be open with me.
And he's just constantly giving you advice and everything.
It's more than basketball. It's like a lot of life advice too. So that's why like I can always commend Shaq for that.
Yeah, that's good. So when can we see you dunk over Shaq?
I was actually supposed to jump over him over the Papa John's thing, and he got scared. So if the opportunity ever presents itself, I'm going to jump over Shaq. If it ever presents itself again, like I'm going to jump over Shaq. Or whoever the tallest guy, I think the tallest NBA guy I jumped over so far was Jared Allen, who now plays for the Cavs. Mm-hmm. That was probably the tallest so far.
How tall is he?
Jared's like 6'11", something like that.
Well, you jumping over Shaq, what's the size, man? Like, are you to his shoulder at least?
To Shaq? Yeah, I'm at my top of my head's at his shoulder. It's not too bad.
And what would you do? A regular dunk, windmill?
Just get over. Whatever dunk I do to get over Shaq and make it, it doesn't matter what you do. As long as you're jumping over Shaq, then it's just going to be crazy.
Yeah. And so after Dunkings, did you get in touch with Ball is Life?
My connection with Ball is Life is through a guy who works there named Scotty Weaver, and me and Scotty have been friends since I first started in the dunk game. He used to have his own little page called Dunks R Us / Live the Dunk, and he was just starting off trying to do his own little Ball is Life thing, and he ended up working for Mars Real, and then from Mars Real he got to Ball is Life, and he just put me on with that connection he had because I've always been loyal to him, he's always been loyal to me, and he's always felt like I've been underrated in the dunk game and I haven't got the credit that I deserve. And him having that Ball is Life connection, we only shot that one video in Florida, and we just seen how crazy it's gone. So I'm excited for what we about to do with this Ball is Life East Coast squad, because I'm not even down there right now, and they're still going crazy. So I can't imagine when I get back down there.
Yeah, you're going in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be back down there doing some stuff with freaking everybody, so it's gonna get crazy again.
Are you gonna be in Orlando, Tampa?
I don't know yet. I think we might do Miami, Orlando, Tampa. Like I might be down there for a while. We'll see. I might be like actually like moving down there, but we'll keep that. We'll see.
Really?
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Well, next Ball is Life event, I'm most likely gonna attend. See you guys, your whole squad, dude. It's really like you guys. It's just talent that people just don't really see. Like that's Not organized basketball, but that's still talent.
I love the fact that we're bringing back that street ball element to where we're not going out there and per se playing street ball to where we're like doing all the crazy tricks and stuff as far as like throwing it off people's heads, but we're just bringing it back to going outside and hooping because a lot of kids miss that. A lot of kids are just used to going in the gym and training and that's all they know. They miss that aspect of going outside and hooping and having fun and just bringing the community together to where it's no negative stuff going on. Like we may argue and stuff, but that's basketball. We keep it cordial, and it's just a good time. And I feel like the world kind of needs that right now. I feel like that's why I'm happy ballislife is kind of highlighting this with White Iverson up there in Arizona and LA, and Hezzy got up there, and then us down there in the East Coast stuff. It's just amazing because a lot of people need something to cheer for right now. And with everything that's going on, a lot of people need something to look up to, and the fact that you can see these guys that you see on YouTube and Instagram that these little kids and teenagers look up to in person, that's the best feeling for me because I know they might never get to see LeBron James, they might never get to see these guys, but they get to see us, and they hold us to that same regard in some sense. So it's amazing to be able to have that feeling and to give it back to the kids. You feel me?
Yeah, is there ever like selfish ball or is it, team ball?
Not with this team. Even after my first couple games, I don't really feel like we got any guys that's really just gonna go out there and try to play a lot of one-on-one ball. It's never. I never look at it like for these guys that it's about the highlights. Like it's about getting the dub. Like at the end of the day, like we do have pride and we're gonna get footage and we're gonna try to do some crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, we all hoopers. So we all just want to go out there, have fun, and end up with a dub at the end of the day. So that's what I really like about the squad we got, especially like Friga, Austin, those guys handles crazy. Nick Briz just all downhill every time, jump shot, layup, dunk, everything's downhill. My guy Travis, and then the one-handed bandit Zach, like he's just going crazy. And I'm really proud of Zach because I feel like he has a story to tell and nobody has really heard it yet. Being D1, going to Florida, I feel like he got some exposure, but I don't really feel like he's got the chance to tell his story like he wants. So if me doing these dunks with that squad is going to help him get his story out, then that's going to be dope too, because there's a lot of people out there that play basketball that have one limb and lost limbs and been born like that, and they're still grinding. So for him to be able to share his story is going to inspire more people, and that's all we ever want to do is just inspire people.
Yeah, that's the goal for everything, really, because there's people who really don't understand, like they could really do whatever they want, literally. But so who's one person on the ballislife East Coast squad that you think that you should battle?
I know everybody want to see me and Nick Briz play one-on-one. Like, we're both one-foot jumpers. We both got different, like, quirky styles, so I know everybody wants to see that. I personally want to go against Friga because I want to see, like, if I can stay in front of him, if I can stop that jump shot because he has a quick release. Austin, too. I really want to play everybody one-on-one. Like, I feel like that's going to be one of the videos we do where we play King of the Court or something like that because we all just want to test each other's skills and just see where we're at. And so, yeah, I want to play everybody.
And is there someone who you think that has a chance of even coming close to you in a dunk contest?
From our squad?
Yeah.
No.
No. Nobody's coming close.
No.
That's some confidence. Well, I think you're probably the best dunker you are the best dunker on the squad. But, some people might maybe come out a front flip dunk. You think you can get that?
That's been talked about for years. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think nobody's going to go out there and do that. But there's still a lot of dunks that haven't been done yet. Contrary to people's belief, there's a lot of stuff that even I've been trying that hasn't been done yet. So I feel like we're going to keep pushing the dunk game forward. Like, we're going to keep pushing basketball forward. We're going to keep elevating the game and keep making it more exciting because we always want to bring something that people feel like they've never seen before. Like, when I seen Friga high-five that guy and then shoot a three, like, I've seen some disrespectful things in basketball.
You're IG Live right now.
Yes, we've been live the whole time.
How many people in there?
I don't know, like, total right now it's like 30-something. I don't go on live much, so I'm gonna actually start going on live and seeing like if I can get like in the hundreds and stuff because I do not be consistent with that. And I see that you kind of got to be consistent for a large mass of people to go there, and you always got to be doing something. Like I used to just go live when I was bored at the house just to talk to the fans, and even if it was 20-something people, I just like talking to them and interacting with them.
Yeah, I heard you talking a little bit. Some people talking trash.
It was just like do a dunk. Every time I get on live, you're going to hear the same 4 comments. How do I jump higher? When was your first dunk? Do a dunk right now. And then some unnecessary crazy dunk where they see that I just walked in the gym or something, like, do a double 360 between the legs. Like, it'd be something like that. But it's never nothing crazy.
Have you tried a double three? What's that called? A 540?
I did a 540 before. I ain't never tried 720 off 1 foot just because it scares me a lot.
Yeah, you really tear your ACL doing that.
Like, just spinning twice off 1 foot, like, I can feel like I can do it, but that's one of the only dunks. If you ever ask me if there's a dunk I'm scared to do, it's probably that. 720 off 1 foot, it just scares me. To spin twice off one. Off two, you going straight up. Off one, you're going like this. So I'm literally spinning, diving towards the rim. Like, that's scary.
Yeah, and have you ever had, like, any injuries from dunking or anything?
Yeah, I broke my hand. The one major one that everybody knows about, I broke my hand on Dunk League. Doing warm-ups, jumped up, put my hand in the back of the rim, and it snapped right before we were about to do the How High competition. I wrapped it like 4 times, ended up winning that competition by dunking 11'8", and then I was out for the rest of the Dunk League. So ever since then, people have been like, yo, we can't wait for Dunk League Season 3. Like, we know you would have turned up in this and this if you would have never got hurt. So everybody's kind of been anticipating that, but because of the pandemic, everything got slowed down with the third season shooting. So hopefully, like, end of 2021, beginning of 2022, we can pick that back up, because I know that's going to be crazy. Like, and I want to smoke with a lot of people.
And what's your biggest dunk breakthrough?
It goes in spurts. So Aaron Gordon Dunk Fest was the first one. That was my first major win, and that kind of set me up for a lot. Dunk King, of course, was a major breakthrough. Had a couple videos with the guy I was telling you that worked for ballislife, Scotty, that went viral. That got me my first couple million views on social media. It's a lot. Even this year, just that ballislife thing, that's a big moment in my career that just progressed me to a different level. So it's certain things every year, couple things that just push me to a different level. Like, and that's why I just keep pushing myself, because I never feel satisfied with what I have going on at the time. Like, I never feel like, oh, I'm at my highest peak yet. I feel like I can always keep evolving and keep elevating until this is when I can't jump no more. And I feel like I'm actually jumping the highest I ever jumped right now. And I say this every year, but then every year I just seem to jump higher. So
Yeah, the ballislife thing, didn't you hit like 12 feet? 12
yeah, I
feet?
hit 12 too.
12-2?
Yeah, and that's what makes me feel. And I hit 12 foot every time we touched it. So I feel like I can really break through Guinness Book of World Records for, like, dunking 12 feet. I think he dunked 12 feet exactly, so I want to go for like 12-3, 12-4 or something like that, and just be in the Guinness Book of World Records. I feel like that would be something cool to show my daughter too. Like, besides just like all the dunk trophies, like, hey, here's the Guinness Book of World Records, and here's your dad.
Yeah, that's a big accomplishment, and I think you could do it. Who do you mock your dunking ability? I heard you say in one interview it was like Vince Carter. Like, is someone you looked up to?
Vince Carter, Sean Kemp. A lot of my style comes from Sean Kemp. A lot of my flair comes from Dr. J and Michael Jordan. Like, everybody would see when Michael Jordan would dunk, he would kick his legs out. And it's a guy that used to dunk named Rudy Clemens, and he told me every time I dunk to look away from the rim and kick my legs out like that. And that's just how I get my style. So that's why when you see a lot of my one-handers, people be like, yo, you can make a simple dunk look crazy just because of your style. And that's like, I always like when people would say that, because when you go to a dunk show, you don't want to come out with your crazy high-level dunks first, because then the crowd's going to be out of it. So the fact that I could just do a regular windmill or a regular one-hand cockback, and I just make it look so crazy that people like treat it like it's in between the legs, it kind of made the game easier for me. That's why people consider me one of the most consistent dunkers in the game, and they know when you book me for a show, if we got to do 7 dunks, I'm going to make 7 dunks.
Yeah. And do you think you're gonna your daughter will follow in your footsteps?
I think I have a lot of different talents, so I don't know which way she can go with. A lot of people don't know that I'm an artist. Like, I've drawn my whole life. I produce music. I made music. I've done a lot of things. So whatever she wants to do, I'm going to support it. As long as whatever she wants to do, she wants to give it her all, and that's really what she believes is her dream, then I'm going to support her whatever she want to do. Like, it doesn't have to be basketball. She never has to pick a basketball up a day in her life, and I wouldn't be disappointed.
Yeah. And so you were at the Hoop Bus, right?
Yeah.
And that was for the Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, that was for Black Lives Matter movement.
And I think it was Arizona?
We started in LA. We drove LA, Arizona, New Orleans, Mississippi, down North Carolina, Atlanta. They ended up going to DC, Philly, and a couple other places. So we was like literally just drove from California all the way down.
Road trip.
But that was a crazy experience. Just it was a lot of racism that we experienced in a lot of places, like Texas especially. The funniest thing about Texas, we pulled up to this little. It was called the Cadillac Ranch, where it's a bunch of like cars out there you can spray paint. They like stuck in the ground, and you can spray paint them and stuff like that. And it was actually a Trump rally van right in front of our Black Lives Matter van. So we actually were like kind of nervous that it was going to be some like tension going on. We were like, yo, we're not trying to get arrested in Texas, but it was a lot of stuff that happened. Cops tried to confiscate the bus. We got not ran out of a town, but just like we were in certain areas where we were about to make a stop, and then like some people come by yelling like, take that shit elsewhere, where these lives matter, this lives matter. And we were just like, we know all lives matter, but we just want y'all to understand that Black lives matter. That's the whole point. That's what y'all missing.
Yeah.
We're not saying that all lives don't matter. We're just saying you're not treating our life as if it matters. And it was just
like
crazy.
Put the black people in the topic.
In the all. Like you're not including us in the all, and that's all the point we were trying to get across. So it's a lot of conversations that we had with some people, and some people we changed their minds. Some people they didn't care to hear it, of course, and it's just that they're gonna be like that. But we got a lot of people to change their minds. We did a lot of good things, and I'm just happy with how everything turned out with that, because that was a wild ride.
I bet it was super fun though.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was a lot of fun going city to city and just experiencing people, especially in the middle of a pandemic, like being able to stay safe out there. That was one of the number one blessings. Nobody got COVID on that trip, and just staying safe and staying healthy and giving the people something, like I said, always giving the people something to look up to in these troubling times.
Yeah.
Because it was hard. Like I know a lot of people wasn't playing basketball. You couldn't get to a gym. You couldn't see basketball. There was no basketball on TV, NBA, college. Everything was cut. So they were missing that. So the fact that we got to provide that for them, like that was amazing.
Yeah, I got this tattoo. It's Statue of Liberty covering her face. It's because of how everything's been going on. It's just like saying like America's kind of like ashamed in a way, just because things just aren't going how they're supposed to go. And it's just sad how people just think that black lives don't matter, in my mind, because it just include everybody, because everyone's equal, and that's what they're not showing.
And what annoys me about it the most is how much influence the black culture has over America, and the fact that we are mistreated, but our culture is taken advantage of. That's a big part of it that frustrates me on a daily basis, and I try to do behind the scenes things to just like I don't really try to put my political views out there, not because of business reasons or anything like that, just to avoid conflict when I'm around kids and doing certain things. So I always try to do stuff behind the scenes. Like as I said, I really want to be a community leader. I always I'm signing petitions, I'm doing stuff, I'm reading up, doing research, and it's just saddening to see the things that our youth has to go through, even in 2021, still dealing with racism and things that our parents and grandparents had to deal with. Like, when is it going to stop? It's frustrating at this point. It's like, when is it going to stop? When is it going to end? When are we going to get a break?
How is Georgia affected by the whole thing?
Georgia's racial tension has always been like a thin line for me. Like it's always been a thin line. Like I grew up I went to marry to high school, so I had white friends, I had mixed friends, I had all types of friends. But it's always been a line to where you feel like it's always somebody looking at you with a weird type of look. Like it's always a deep Southerner like looking at you like, boy, like they want to say something to you. And I've dealt with a lot of racist things, even just playing on the Harlem Wizards and traveling and going different places in the South. I've been elbowed by cops in the middle of a kid's charity game. Where I've been thrown down. I've been spit at on courts. A lot of stuff has happened to me, and had to sit there and try to deal with it with a smile on my face, because I have to be the professional one, because I'm the young black guy, and if I go crazy, I'm gonna look like the bad guy, even though it's on camera that this cop just threw me down and just elbowed me and did all this in front of hundreds of kids, but nobody sees that.
Yeah, nobody does.
And it's a lot to deal with, but I'm happy I'm as strong as I am, and I'm able to handle it, because like I tell people all the time, if it wasn't for the dunk stuff, I wouldn't have social media. I would not be on social media at all. It's just an evil place. But it takes people like me to just say, all right, I'm gonna be on social media and I'm gonna give lessons and give light and give game and just not try to hide from it, because it's gonna be part of my life. It's part of my job. It's part of my career. It's gonna be part of my life. So I don't ever try to run from it. I don't try to run from the negativity. I don't try to run from hate comments. I try to attack everything with a positive mindset and just spread positivity, because that's what the world really needs right now.
Yeah. So how's quarantine like affected? Well, we're not in quarantine like much right now, but how has that like affected, you playing all the time because courts have been closed, and how did you?
For any dunker, we know that quarantine destroyed our 2020 season. Like our summers are usually our seasons where we have all of our dunk contests and all of that type of stuff, and a lot of our major events and stuff. So that didn't happen because the NBA was shut down. Everything was going on. There was in the bubble and all that type of stuff. So a lot of events got canceled. So a lot of guys dropped off. Like, they didn't continue to work. They didn't know what to do. They went to get regular jobs. A lot of stuff happened. But for me, having my daughter, I was one of those guys that ended up getting a regular job for a little while, but I was still training and dunking and stuff. And it got to the point where I felt like the job was just interfering. Like, I'm too young to be at this point yet. So I stuck it out, and I've revamped my page and just reset everything I had going on. I changed my name. My Instagram name used to be Jordan Southerland 25, and I just felt like, even though that's my name, it's kind of long. Like, my last name is long, so I was like, yo, how can I shorten it? Like, what's a nickname I can come up with that when people hear it, they're gonna be like, yo, who is this? Like, even if they just see the name, like, who is it? And then me and my brother Jody came up with 1 Foot God, and it took off. Like, I put it up there just maybe like 12 o'clock on a Wednesday night, and then like 3 days later I went to the gym and they were like, are you the 1 Foot God? And I was like, oh, it worked. Like, it was like the little kids like didn't say Jordan Southern, they said that, and it took his life of his own. And I just feel like that in itself is gonna grow as an entity. So that's how that's the approach I took to quarantine. Like, I had to revamp everything so where people just didn't feel like they were seeing the same thing for me, and they feel like I was still elevating, and they still could watch me and be entertained to where they didn't get bored. That's what happens with a lot of social media guys. You end up just dropping the same type of content, and then it ends up just becoming boring.
And how often do you get recognized? I mean, I know you said everyone knows everybody in where you're from, but outside of that, how often do you get recognized?
In a weekly basis, like not nothing crazy. Maybe like 4 or 5 times on a weekly basis, like on a minimum. That's like people like, oh, you the dunk. Especially since I got my hair. When I dyed my hair and I started doing like the Dennis Rodman colors, like, it became even more noticeable. So they were like, oh yeah, I just seen you on ballislife and all this stuff. So yeah, now it's worse. Now it's like 10, 12 times a week just because of the hair alone. Like, people it's recognizable because it's like, yo, it's a tall, skinny kid. Like, I got all these tattoos that people recognize. I got Naruto and stuff like that. So, and then the hair just.
How old were you when you started to get tattoos?
I was 16. I got my first tattoo at 16.
And you just been going since?
Ever since. Like, Wiz and Allen Iverson was my first inspiration, but at the time, Wiz was the first person where I was like, he dropped ink my whole body, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna get tatted. Like, and me being an artist, I drew all my tattoos, so they all got personal meaning to me, every single one of them. I actually did a couple other tattoos I got on my legs too when I was trying to be an apprentice and do tattoos in like 2013.
So you just tried every aspect of life, really. Music, you're an artist, tattoos, basketball, track.
I feel like a person should never limit themselves. Like, of course, you should know what you're good at, and I might not be great at everything, but I was good at some stuff, and I was just like, I might as well just try it. Like, even if it doesn't come out to my standards, or I might not like it, at least I can say I tried. I never have that feeling of regret, like, I didn't at least try to do something.
Yeah.
You never want that. Like, nobody should ever want that feeling of regret. Like, you look years down the line and like, maybe I should have tried this back then. Maybe this would have worked. And like, as long as you see, you can sleep at night a little better.
What would you say your definition of success is?
For me personally, success is the legacy you leave behind. That's just what it means to me at the end of the day. Like, I don't for me, like, it's just that legacy. Like, I don't want that's why I strive so hard to try to be a community leader and just be more than a dunker, because I don't want it to be like I was just an Instagram dunker at the end of the day. I wanted to be like, yeah, he dunked, but he used dunking to give back to communities. He used dunking to get other aspects of his career off that he wanted to, that people didn't even know he could do. Like, and I just define success, like I said, legacy, like the people you inspire. Like, I just want to, like, drill that in people's head. Like, as long as when I'm gone, people are still gonna get inspired by my story and the things that I did outside of basketball, then I feel like I did right by the world. Like, I felt like I left a piece of me, like how Nipsey inspired people, how Kobe inspired people. Like, when they left, you knew it wasn't just music and it wasn't just basketball. They left a legacy behind of inspiration and being a better person and being a better human. It wasn't just about being the best musician or being the best athlete. It was about just becoming a better human being.
Yeah. Do you think you would open up your own gym?
Oh, definitely. That's coming in the next couple of years. Like, I've been mapping that out. I always come with 5-year plans, and I tell myself by 25, I wanted to be established in the dunk game. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to be able to take care of a family if I had to, and that all those things happened. So now, leading up to 30, I want to own my own gym. I want to have a place where kids can come in, content creators can come in, where you feel like you're not getting chipped or anything, and you just have a creative space to just be yourself.
Yeah.
Even if it's not even basketball, like, I want to have a setup like this in the back there. You want to go shoot a music video, or you want to just do some dance stuff. You have a space where you can just be yourself and create, because a lot of people don't have that space.
Yeah. So you say that you did music before, and Meek Mill and Lil Baby just dropped a little snippet. It was, Meek Mill had one verse where it was like, if I get caught without my chopper, I'm going to be like Kobe. Do you think that was a little messed up, or do you think that was just for the bar?
I think it's messed up. I think it's insensitive.
I think it's way too soon.
Yeah, I think just knowing the situation and how tragic it was and how many people were affected by it, there's a million Kobe lines you could have said that were respectful and tasteful. It's just about how you go about things. And, you know, especially you being Meek Mill is always on a short leash with people. Like, ever since he came back from the whole Drake situation, he's always been on a short leash. So anything he says or does, people always magnify it as either it's really good or it's really bad. So I feel like he should move more carefully. Like, he doesn't take into consideration some of the stuff he says and does on social media or through his songs. And I think that's going to get him in a lot of trouble, like in the upcoming months with a lot of people. Yeah.
So who do you listen to being out in Georgia? You know, you have Lil Baby, you have a couple other, Quando Rondo. Who do you listen to?
A lot of Future, a lot of Thug, Jid from Dreamville. Still a lot of Kendrick, a lot of Cole.
It's so a lot of mainstream?
Not even a lot of mainstream. It's just, I listen to a lot of different type of music. Like, I listen to Tame Impala and Gorillaz and a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, I listen to that type of stuff before games. I listen to old school R&B and jazz, and just I listen to a lot of different music. But as far as like rap goes, one of Lil Baby's artists, his name Little Kid. He from out like my way in Marietta. Like, he's been blowing up, and I listen to him a lot. Like, he's like a lot of pain music, like on kind of like a ride wave type thing, to where he just speaks his truth, and I reside with it a lot. It's just a lot of different people. Like, my music preferences could change. So I could be on like some conscious stuff, and then I could just be on some Sada Baby. Like, Sada Baby is one of my favorite artists though. Like right now, just his energy and everything. Like, he gets me hype. Like, if I'm in a down mood, I'll play him and just get to dancing and just having fun. So like, he follow me and everything. We talk a couple times. So yeah, Sada Baby's like probably like one of my favorite guys right now.
That's pretty lit. So if there was a little kid who came in here right now and asked you for some advice saying, how do I get to the next level, what advice would you give him?
You have to learn discipline. That's going to be one of the biggest factors in you being successful, whether it's basketball, whether it's in school, whether it's in life. You have to have discipline. And that's one of the things, like, anybody's going to struggle with that. Like, nobody's perfect. Nobody naturally wants to get up at 7 in the morning and go do a workout or go run when it's cold outside. Nobody wants to be in the gym those extra hours after when you don't have to, but you have to have the discipline to know that spending this extra time now is going to help me in my career. And then when it's time to retire, I'm not going to feel like I didn't do enough. That's one of the things I never want. I tell people, you never want to feel like you didn't do enough to push your career forward. Like you never want to feel like you didn't put in enough work. So just have that discipline to put in work and get up and grind every day for whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on here, man. It's a true honor to interview you and just have regular conversations with you. The 1 foot guy, Jordan Southerland.
Shout out to my guy. We on live, EC.
Yes, sir. We on live.
He flew here from Florida, guys. So I need to give him a round of applause in the comments for just flying down here and setting this whole thing up.
Thank you. So we have Akeem the Dream and Jordan Southerland. Just make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe.
Like the hold on. Let me talk to you guys for a second. I'm gonna yell to the mic in here. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe to the channel. Akeem out.